Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Bookish Blonde, or if you're new here, welcome. So happy. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I hope you enjoy what you see, and if you do, hit subscribe and like. It always helps support my channel. But today's video is very exciting. I am going to talk about 12 books from 12 of my favorite booktubers that I like to watch that I would like to try to make priority in 2026. So there's no commitment like one a month or anything like that, but these are just a stack of books that I'm hoping to get to this year. So, and I thought it would be fun to do it this way because you know what? Being part of the booktube community has been so amazing. Not only talking to my wonderful subscribers, all of you, thank you again for supporting my channel. I love chatting down below with you, talking books. It's a lot of fun, but also just the other booktubers. I have made some real in-life friendships with some amazing people, and I love how positive the book community is. I love how they all support each other. I have, in 3 years of doing this, have not had one negative experience. It's been great. And so I want to also give a shout out to all these channels. Some of them you've probably already subscribed if you subscribe to me. Some of them are the booktube besties, but you know, overall I'm so excited. These are 12 books that I already own that are on my radar. So what I did is I picked a book from each of these booktubers' top books of 2025. Now, it's not necessarily their number ones because some of those I had already read. So I decided, you know, I'm just going to pick a book from each of these favorites, their favorites list. And I trust these people. I've been watching them for a long time. Couple newer, newer booktubers to me, where our tastes are overlapping. So I'm excited to dive into those. Let's just get started. These are in no order other than the order of which they happen to be in my spread in my reading journal. And I'm obviously very excited about these books because, like I said, I already own these books. They're already on my shelves. Okay, so the first booktuber, first channel is Amanda over at, so she doesn't make content anymore or currently, but it's Amanda over on the middle shelf. Her past content is still up there for you to view. Please check her out. She is one of the nicest people. We've gotten to know each other through the booktube besties group, and Amanda, I love you. For her book, I had to chat with her on the phone and get her recommendation because she does that, like I said, doesn't have current content right now. That may change in the future. I don't know. But that is a book by Lisa Phipps. This is And Then Boom. She cannot stop raving about this book. It is a middle grade book about a middle grader boy who really struggles. It's told in verse. So this one should be one to, you know, sit down in a sitting and just get it read. But this one is going to be a little hard hitting, but I don't know if all of you know this, but my real job is I am a middle school counselor. So I am the counselor for grades 6, 7, and 8. So nothing in this story will probably shock me, sadly enough, but I just thought it would be really neat to read this and get a perspective, and I'm sure I really appreciate this given my job title. This is about Joe. His parents are absent. His grandma is raising him, and it's just his story about middle school, about how he keeps picking himself up, trying to show up. You watch him struggle, I think, like making friends, you know, the typical middle school struggles. So I'm excited to see how they handle, how Lisa handles this. It's going to be a book about resiliency, heartbreak, and hope. And Amanda loves it, and I trust her. So I'm so excited to get to that one. Next up, Krista from the Books and Besties, from Books and Jams. She's another one of the BookTube besties. Krista, hi, miss you, love you. Another friend that I have been able to really connect with and get to know. And if you don't watch her channel, please do. Her content is amazing. She is the queen of vlogging, and she is where I set my personal goals for vlogging. Her vlogs are so amazing. She definitely, we have a lot of overlap in reading, but there are a few places where we differ. Romance and some of the dark thrillers, some of the content trigger warning kind of content in some books I can handle and I enjoy, and she doesn't, and that's okay. I kind of joke like, this book was great, but it's not a Krista book, as is a saying that I find myself saying often. Another reason why I picked these 12, I wanted to make sure I picked 12 different booktubers than the ones that were featured in 2025 in my Read Like a Booktuber series. There were 6 booktubers, so those 6 booktubers I still enjoy. They're definitely favorites of mine, but I was trying to expand and pick books from different booktubers this year. But check out those videos if you haven't already. So this one is Theo of Golden by Alan Levi. I always want to say Levi Allen. Alan Levi. This is going to be this is her favorite of 2025, a hard-hitting book that she has not been able to shut up about since she's read it in all the good ways. And this is going to be, it takes place in a small southern town. The town is named Golden, and our main character, yep, you guessed it, is Theo. He visits a coffee house, and in this coffee house, there's 92 pencil-drawn portraits of different people by a local artist. And so he decides to purchase each one by one and give it back to their rightful owner. And through that, he makes friendships, and I think it's obviously small town community, which I love. It says a story of grieving, receiving, and of seeing and being seen. Theo of Golden is a beautifully crafted novel about the power of creative generosity, the importance of wonder in a purposeful life, and the invisible threads of kindness that bind us to one another. So this book sums Krista up to me of her reading taste, and so I'm so excited to read this. Okay, next up, we have Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library. Hi, Lindsay. Love you too. Another BookTube bestie. I have been watching Lindsay's channel for as long as I've been watching YouTube. So she's been around for a while in my life, and now she's a dear friend of mine, and I could not be more blessed, of course. But this is going to be in her top 10, of course, Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. She thought this was such a good thriller. She had such a fun time with it. I personally have enjoyed everything that I've read by Samantha Downing, and I have read everything, I think, except for this new one. And this is about a retired serial killer, and that's all I needed to know. There's an investigative journalist that starts looking into her, and her identity has been hidden, and I think whatever happens, she has to go back to work, and it's about how much harder it is to be a serial killer when you're older, and I cannot wait to get to this. I've heard this was a lot of fun, thrilling, page-turning. Lindsay loved it, so I'm most likely going to love it. Can't wait. Next one, last BookTube bestie, but I love you, Sarah. Not saving the best for last. You're all equal in my eyes, but again, so glad to have Sarah in my life. We definitely read across all genres the same. I think there's been one book we both read that we've disagreed on. Everything else we just see eye to eye on. Her and I are a lot alike in outside of our reading taste as well, but she's amazing. So this is my signed copy of Atmosphere. One of my goals this year is also to read Taylor Jenkins' Read to Zero. I have 3 of them. This is one of them, so that doubles up there. And she just had such a good time with this. This is historical fiction. This is a love story. This is a thrilling, emotional, transformative, power of love type story, and it takes place in the 1980s. We're following this girl. What is her name? I don't even know. Joan Goodwin, and she decides to try out and wants to be on a shuttle. And I've heard it's incredible, and it's Taylor Jenkins Reid, so I'm sure I'm gonna love it. I need to speed this up. I'm literally like losing light as we speak. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, next up, my newfound in-person friends are Lauren and Ben. They are husband and wife duo, and they have an amazing channel. I have so much fun watching them together and their banter. And that is Lauren and Ben over at The Youngs and the Restless. And so I'm picking 2, one for each of them. They both love horror, and one of my goals this year is to read more horror. I want to identify what my horror tastes are. So I'm picking up. She really enjoyed this one, and they both talk about this author, Philip Fracassi. I think I'm saying that right. The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre. This is going to be a little bit slashery. Not sure how I feel about slashery books and horror, but I did like Final Girls by Riley Sager, and to me that was read like a slasher. But she had such a good time with this. people are dying in this old person's home, this retirement home, and Rose and Millie start to investigate. Is it just people dying off from natural causes or accidents, or is there a serial killer on the loose? But I want to see if I love it because Lauren did. So there's that one. Next up is Ben, same channel, The Youngs and the Restless. He also is an independent horror author that I'm reading one of his books this month in January, so stay tuned for that. It's called Stuck by Ben Young. And this is Devils Kill Devils by Johnny Compton. This was, I think, his #1 of the year. I have read Spite House by Johnny Compton. I gave it 3.5 stars. I love the writing. I love the characters. I just wasn't spooked out like I wanted to be, so that's where it got the 3.5 star rating. But after hearing how excited he was and how much he loved this book, I started seeing it in like 3 bookstores. The next 3 bookstores I went to, I saw them like over the next few weeks. I'm like, okay, this is a sign. I'm picking this one up. And this one is about Sarita. She has been watched over by a guardian angel her whole life. His name is Angelo. And all I know is Angelo kills someone that she loves, and you follow the story from there. Again, I read more horror. This one's going to be obviously more, I think, ghosty, supernatural. And I'm excited to see what I think about another Johnny Compton book. His writing was phenomenal in The Spite House. Actually, thinking about it, it probably should have been a 4-star. Sometimes I do that. I rate, and then as it sits with me, if I'm still thinking about the book, I'm like, I need to go back. I jumped the gun and rated that too soon. If I'm still thinking about a book months later, it should be getting at least a 4-star, so I might correct that on Goodreads. All right, next up, Heather over at Bookables, another booktuber that I've been watching for almost the entire time. I found BookTube in like 2016 or 17, and I've been watching her for a very, very long time. This is in her top, obviously, that's the whole point of this video, but My Friends by Frederick Bachman. He's an auto-buy author, even though I have so much more to read by him, but I love him. I love his writing. I think his writing is very unique and spectacular and just beautiful, beautiful writer. And this one she loved, and it sounds really good. This one's about art and about friendship. There is a painting of these 3 friends, and we follow our main character named Louisa. And so she kind of goes on this journey, this road trip, to find out more about who painted this painting, what about the people in the painting. And I think that, Louisa founds this painting, and then the painting story part of it flashes back 2 decades prior, and it's about art and friendship, 2 timelines, cross-country road trip, finding out a lot about herself, I'm sure, and I think this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful story, and I think I'm going to love his characters. So there's that one. Okay, next up, Kayla over at Books and Lala. If you don't know who Kayla is, I'm surprised. I think she's the biggest booktuber that I watch. Again, been watching her for years. Our reading tastes don't always align, but I love her fresh content on her channel. She comes up with very creative content, and she reads a ton of books. So lots of recommendations. I'm picking up The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sorry, this one's kind of hard to see, but this is going to be epic fantasy. It's the beginning of a trilogy. The trilogy is called the Eternal Path Trilogy. It's a big one. It's 643 pages, and we're following 7 warriors who are competing for a spot in an empire, the Oran Empire. There's been 24 years of peace, and then whoever's in charge dies, and I think there's a competition, but just hearing her talk about this book made it move up my list of want to read real quick. It was on my radar a little bit, because I do read fantasy, but it's a newer genre to me. As far as one of my goals in 2025 was read more fantasy, and actually no, that's a lie, it was read more historical fiction. But I did read more fantasy in 2025 than previous years, and I'm really enjoying the fantasy I've been picking up. Part of the reason why I read more fantasy these days, I blame Sarah fully over at Sarah's Nightstand. But yeah, so there's this one. That's from Kayla over at Books and Lala. Next up, Ashley from Ashley's Little Library. I'm going to pick up When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. Again, read more horror. This one's going to be adrenaline fueled. It sounds so good and spooky. I hope it creeps me out. It's about a babysitting job from hell, basically. And I can't wait to pick it up and try it. Another author that's new to me, that's been on my radar. I'm finally, hopefully this year, going to pick up something by Nat Cassidy. So excited for that. Ashley is also a YouTuber I've been watching for a while. Okay, next up is Jordan over from Sorry Book Solid. I'm going to pick up Pictures of You by Emma Gray. This wasn't on my radar. Another title by her, The Last Love Note, was on my radar from Krista. But Jordan, she's been making content since 2020. I found her channel this past year, and I quickly have fallen in love with her channel. We have a lot of overlap, so I trust her for recommendations. I think her content is so fun and fresh, and I enjoy seeing her face. She's so friendly. I really enjoy her content. She does some amazing vlogging as well for Book of the Month and for Aardvark. So Aardvark is a book subscription, just like Book of the Month, that wasn't really on my radar till last year because of her. And I'm kind of considering trying it. But definitely check out her channel. If you haven't heard of her, I think you'll love Jordan. I do. And this book is going to be very emotional. She does warn in when she talks about on her favorites video of 2025 how emotional and hard-hitting this book was, and some of the trigger warnings. But this is going to explore grief in a way that I haven't personally read before, because Evie Hudson is our main female lead, and her husband dies in a tragic car accident, and this car accident also sends her into the hospital, and we have an amnesia trope. She does not remember her husband. She doesn't remember her adult life. And so you watch her kind of walk through grief, the grieving process of losing someone that she can no longer remember, but she knows it was her husband and she had a healthy marriage. Things were great. And you watch her walk through that, and I'm so interested. I'm a little nervous because I know it's very emotional. But she said, oh, Hank, shh. Sorry, that was my dog. But she said, pick this up when you want to feel something. When you want to feel emotions and you need a strong emotional book, pick this up. So I'm very excited for that. Next up, Rhonda, a very, very new to me channel. I found Rhonda. Her channel is at Rhonda Holden. I found her through Lauren over at Youngs and the Restless. She really likes her. And so I started watching her content just recently, I'm talking November, December of 2025. But I'm so excited because this is one that I already want to read. And this is by Megan Church, The Mad Wife, another book that Lauren also raves about. This one piqued my interest because it's a historical fiction about the 1950s housewife, and it talks about mental health, how it was swept under the rug, how it was handled inside the home, how it was handled in the community, and the exploration of that. I am so intrigued. Again, middle school counselor, mental health therapy, that's all in my field, and I cannot wait. I heard this is also kind of horror-esque, as from my understanding. But yeah, this was in her top 10. Rhonda's new to me. I'm going to continue to grow and check out her channel and find out how our tastes align. And this will help me do that. So this is The Mad Wife. Can't wait. And then last but not least, again, no order in these, you guys. These aren't like the top 12 in order. This is just 12 booktubers I want to shout out that I enjoy so much. Another newer to me the last few months, I found Jules over at Jules Books and Things through Lauren. So thank you for that, Lauren. And she started content in 2023, I think. So right around the time, a little bit earlier than me. So another newer channel, but I love her content. So far, so good. And out of her top books, again, I had read some of them. But the one that I have that I am very super excited to read because it's an auto-buy author for me. I want to read her to zero. And this is a new book and a new series by Karen Slaughter. This is We Are All Guilty Here. This is, like I said, a new #1 to a series. Karen Slaughter is queen. I love her her mystery thriller books. She can do no wrong in my eyes, and I keep hearing positive things. Lindsay just finished this over I believe this month. Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library loved this as well. But Jules loved it, and I can't wait. In this one, we are following a Officer Emmy Clifton. So two teenage girls vanish and the town ignites, and it's a very personal connection for Officer Emmy Clifton. Not sure what that is. She turned away when her best friend's daughter needed help, and now she must bring her home. But as Emmy combs through the puzzle of the girls left behind, she realizes she never really knew them. Nobody did. Every teenage girl has secrets, but who would kill for them? And who else is the town? What else is the town hiding? So this, again, gets rave reviews so far. I've heard the chapters are a little long, which isn't my favorite. But Karen Slaughter, if you guys have read her, right? Her books are a little dark, a little gritty, a little messed up, but I love that about her. And her writing is so amazing. I've never not loved something that I've read by Karen Slaughter. Again, I could go all day talking about Karen Slaughter, but I'm very excited to pick this up. So there you have it. 12 really solid books backed up by people that I trust, people that I'm getting to know, and I'm excited to see how our reading tastes align. These are all books that were already on my shelf, so that will help me with my trying to read down my TBR goal. It will help me with my read more horror goal. It gives shout out for all of you guys. If any of these books sound good or any of these channels are new to you, do me a favor. They're down below. Check them out. If you like them, subscribe. Let's continue to support and love on each other, because you guys, booktube and booktubers, like I said, just such amazing connections, such amazing people out there. And the more love we show, the more content we get, right? So there you have it. I'm so excited. I want to read every single one of these books in 2026. That is a challenge for myself. We shall see. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for sticking with me. If you've made it this far, put some kind of medal or a heart, something that you makes an icon, a little emoji that makes you think of a favorite, something you love, that kind of thing. Thanks for being here as always, and sorry about the crappy lighting, and I will see you guys soon in my next video. I hope you're reading something amazing. Happy reading. Bye.